Hey boys and girls, Chris here, and in this quick video I'm going to show you a way to get images to stand out a little bit more, even if they're black and white. In this series of the last one I did was creating some depth to your images, so you get stuff that's seemingly flat out of the camera, and it's our job as artists to provide post-production techniques that would provide us the view with the best impact. So here we have an image that was shot by Marie Balcazar. Marie Balcazar is a student of mine from DC. This is a wonderful photograph she took. And to make it a little bit better, the only thing that I would think would be to work on separating her from the background a little bit, adding a little blue and a little brightness to the background to get her to stand off, because this push-pull effect that happens between saturation and desaturation and bright and dark and in focus and out of focus, things like that, can help you direct your viewer to the picture. So the difference is very subtle. It's this to this. You can see it very slight. And to get there, what I did was, I will just trash this layer. Let's look at making a selection. Now you can use a number of tools, and in this example I'll use the quick select tool. And with a quick select tool, get a little bit bigger brush, and we'll start by selecting this background. And I'll hold the Option key down, and notice what happens when I hit the Option key, this minus. So I'm subtracting this from the selection, so I can subtract that area that I got into her here. And I'm going to go through her body a little bit to kind of educate the tool a little bit in what I'd rather it not select. So here we go through the whole image, and I'll hold the Option key down again and make sure that I haven't infringed on anything that shouldn't be infringed on, like these little areas here. Expand that out, and with that selection made, I can now jump in and grab a curve, and notice the mask that I get immediately. I mean, this is like the burning and dodging techniques that we're used to in the wet darkroom, where it doesn't have to be overly accurate if the adjustments are subtle. The heavier the adjustment, the more precise your selections or your masks have to be. But here we could use the target adjustment tool and maybe try to brighten up the background a little bit, and maybe go to the blue channel and add a little blue. Not quite that much, but you see what's happening by me adding even a bit of blue. You see how she stands out? Now granted, that is too much, but you don't notice it being a bad selection. And we can back off the opacity, so it's very, very subtle, but they're enough to provide you the opportunity to separate your subject from the background. Now if you wanted to do something to the foreground, you could just hold the Command key down, select the mask, which is going to select everything but her, Command Shift I, or select the inverse, which would select her, and get another curve. Notice that the mask is inverted now, and I could add some brightness to her. I could add some contrast to her. I could do anything I want at this point to her, because I've got both areas selected. And you notice that the selections are fine, but notice that if I hit the Option key down and I eyeball before and after, that she starts to separate better from the background with a little hint of blue. It should just be a hint of blue and a hint of brightness, so it's not drawing attention to itself. And notice that we've only got about 50 or 40% worth of effect on the background, just adding a touch of color to the background, cooling it off a little bit to get her to stand out. And that's it.